situations. Some people have gotten themselves in bad relationships where they're suffering constantly from those type of circumstances. That's why it's not good to, because I love it. Like, I love it when somebody uses marriage as a way to pretend that they're better than someone else when they're really not, you know, and then they have hell running behind their doors. But just understand, some people are wicked, inherently wicked. They don't have any plans on becoming better. They don't want to become better. And that's why it's very important for, you know, us to start really getting into the Word of God and reading particular scriptures on forgiveness, healing, letting go. And then sometimes you might even have to do some counseling. You know, I'm really big on counseling and telling people to go get counseling. Why? Because I sat with a counselor before. Less than 60 seconds. I mean, not 60 seconds, you know, that's a little exaggeration. But like, let's say maybe 20 minutes. The question she asked me at first, you know, you get offensive, because I know when you want to talk about something, you want to talk about the topic, and you don't want to be guided because it's like you're trying to get this stuff off your chest, right? Well, when she questioned me in a certain structure, in a certain manner, one thing I learned about psychologists, obviously they're good at their jobs. So I hate when people go to YouTube and it's like, yeah, this is the end all be all because I listened to this. No, if you're going to listen to somebody who is trained, who is an actual counselor, certified psychologist, psychiatrist, or, counselor, you know, somebody trained in that field. Not saying that people are not intuitive, because my dad, he was highly witty. I'm telling you, he was amazing far as being fair-minded. His wit was just out of this world. And his wisdom was out of this world. And he didn't need a degree. So it helps to keep the balance in a situation, because some people can really objectively look at it, and sometimes their life experiences, their traumas, and what they've witnessed in life can give them some type of balance to give you good advice, really good advice. So I'm not saying that if somebody doesn't have a degree, you know, in the area of mental, emotional, spiritual psychology, to count them out. But people who go to school, and I understand this, I have 3 degrees and I'm still working to become a nutritional coach and a certified weight loss manager as well. And then I'm also a licensed esthetician currently, which I've been for years. You know, I love beauty, but this is not what this is about. I will have different channels on those. But I admire people who actually go for the skill sets, because sometimes they have to be in there for 8 to 10 years, 4 years, 6 years, you know, 7 years. So the admiration for people who actually know their job and can do their job well, I choose that above all else. You know what I'm saying? It's good to get opinions, but when you really want a unbiased opinion, you know, you need to go seek help. But they can help you learn about yourself faster, and your healing process can begin faster. So my thing is, you can use a combination of church and spirituality, and you got to mix it with that counselor as well. And then you do have people who are Christians who are counselors as well. And then sometimes you still have to be careful, because everybody that says Christian, like we talked about before, they don't have God sitting inside of them. They don't have any plans. They can know the Bible like the front and back of their hands, and still be manipulating it for personal and private gain onto their clients or onto themselves, or providing some wiggle room, or their faith and different, everything's different, to where sometimes you just can't just go straight off of that. But I do know great healing can come into actually receiving counseling from people who are licensed and who have went to school and who live, breathe that profession. So my hat goes off to psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors. It's a tough job. They deal with a lot of emotional traumas when it comes from patient to patient, or patient to professional, sorry. And some of them have their own issues too, so we won't discount that either. So just, if you do go to get help, just make sure you say a prayer and you discern who might be a good fit for your counseling. Because remember, when you start telling your business, you're unlocking that to someone else. You get what I'm saying? And you're opening that up to their interpretations of your life. So that's why it's very important to make sure that person is a good person as well. You know what I'm saying? Like Google them, search them, and then go do an interview with them before you actually have your first official session. And then you can make your choice and figure out if they're a good person or not. But yeah, so anyway, healing can begin with that, especially if you have faced some really harsh traumas in your childhood. Abuse by people who have grown up, and this, and they deal with different types of stuff. For me, alcoholism, if somebody has sex addictions, and all these different elements that can be sitting inside of people that need to come out so that they can live a full, abundant life. That's what comes out. I mean, that's what needs to come out. Most people, they try to hold on to the things in their lives, and they don't want to get it out, and then they're suffering in silence, over medicating, drugs, alcohol, passing that negative energy onto their children, and just creating the next cycle of monsters. I shouldn't say not monsters. Kids are beautiful. but you get what I'm saying. Like if you don't correct the problem, you pass it to the next generation, and then it's just a cycle that keeps going. And then when you got to run after a kid that's constantly in jail, prison, or going down the same rabbit hole that everybody else has gone through, it's just disheartening, because our thing is we want to break generational curses, and somebody has to take a step, so the way to do that is, hey, get help. Get help so you can understand and start healing, and then you could bring your healing self to your families, and then that could better relieve the stress and anxiety out of that environment. So I'm a big advocate for that, and then that can help you forgive, but our main thing as Christians is bring no harm to that. Just forgive people, and you got to let it go, and then you can deal with how to process that pain, and God can bring you out of that slowly, and we'll talk about pain later, but that was not the focus of this one. This was more about let's forgive and learn how to forgive and sing Kumbaya, and so that's what this one was about. So God bless you. I will bring more to the table on these thoughts. I'm a big advocate of everybody is just different, and when we learn that, we won't try to change that. We don't want to be their critic. We don't want to be their saviors. We just want to do our due diligence in helping somebody who comes across our path who may need it, without abusing our positions of power either, or our positions of understanding. Because some people do that, where do this, and then if that person is not willing to do what you said, like your puppet, then they get all angry, like, well, I tried to help. No, you were not trying to help. You were imposing your will onto that person, and you're outside of the will of God at this point, okay? Because that's not forgiveness. That's not love. You didn't do it out of kindness and love. You did it out of selfishness and self-serving, behaviors that So anyway, that's all. Have a great and blessed day. Bye.